Welcome. Here we are. This is the cosmic bridge. It does not matter what time you're watching this. Whenever you happen to see this, that is the time that this is for you. Let's talk about a bridge. A bridge requires materials, some plans, some skills to be able to build the bridge. It's built with steps. I know for myself, I don't want to cross a bridge that was built haphazardly. I wouldn't feel safe crossing a bridge that didn't have structural integrity. So, this, therefore, is to think about what is the bridge that you're creating from where you've been to where you're going. What are the skills, the tools, the materials that are needed? What is it going to take to acquire those materials and those skills? And in general, some bridges can be built by ourselves. However, many bridges require support, other people to help us construct the bridge. There's always some thing, some skill, some bit of knowledge that we have, and some that requires assistance, learning, growth to get to. It's also like climbing a staircase. If there's 20 steps from the bottom to the top, it's not likely that we're going to scale that staircase in one step. We have to take it one step at a time. To get to the top, to get to the other side, requires a plan and taking each step, working with the skills, working with the materials, equipment, the support team to get there. Furthermore, when we get to the other side of the bridge, there's a moment to stop and turn around and acknowledge the structure that was created. And then to move forward along the path to wherever you're headed. So here in this moment, we're first acknowledging where we've been, all that we've created, all that we've built, all that we've completed, and also acknowledging what is in the process of being built and created, what is still being grown, that needs nurturing. Here now in this moment, maintain composure, regardless of where our energies are being pulled to. Remain grounded in the self, maintain composure, and allow the energy to gather. To feel the seeds of inspiration begin to grow. With that, sometimes is taking a step, is taking some action. There was a project that I was working on, and I kept saying I was going to make a piece of art. For days went by, and I kept journaling. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I should make a piece of art. Maybe I should make a piece of art. But I never actually sat down and made the art. I didn't know what I was making. I didn't know why. I didn't have an image in mind. There was no direction for it. There was a point where I had to simply pull out the markers and the paper. Then there was another point where I had to sit down with the markers and the paper, and I still in that moment had zero inspiration. And many times when I do go to work on art, there's something that's inspiring me, some image or some thought or some experience or dream that has inspired a creation. But for this particular piece of art, I had the urge to make it, but no vision for it. So I sat down and just made the art. I just started drawing and allowed it to go wherever it went. And a cool image came out of it. In the coming days after that, another process that had nothing to do with art came forward. And that process inspired some images that then turned into me wanting to make more pieces of art based on those images. So the point I'm making here is, if I would have waited until it was all formulated in my what I was creating, I would have never started. I had to actually step of getting the markers and the paper out, to making the time, to sitting down and making that random first image. From there, it opened the doorway for a whole project to unfold. And it's a continuation of a project. It was something that had started some time before, it had stalled, and then I took that action, and then it connected back to the original project. Movement. That's the map. Movement. Action. Sometimes we don't know the why, the what, but the when is what is important. Now is the moment where we have the choice to make some movement, and in the present moment, by following that movement of energy, that inspiration, just to take some action, it creates a shift. And that shift can guide the process. And then it starts to become more conscious. It starts to come from the subconscious and work its way into the knowing. The movement, the action, the journey is what shows the way. It shows the what. It shows the why. It shows the how. As I'm doing this, I'm looking down because I'm also doing a reading. So the message that I'm offering is woven into the reading. And the next message after movement is to prioritize self-care. So as we move over this bridge that is being built, it is to prioritize self-care, to do it in a way that is nurturing, that takes the well-being into consideration, that creates balance and facilitates and respects whatever balance we need in our life. In what ways have we been neglecting some aspect of our well-being, of our self-care? What is it that is needed to bring balance to that part of our life? It could simply be breathing, and not a particular style of breathing, just breathing. I made a video recently about breathing, the breath being something we have access to in every moment. It goes with us everywhere, and we're breathing regardless of whether we're thinking about it or not. So just stopping for a moment to breathe consciously and create space with the natural breath. Let's do that by taking 5 conscious breaths. If this moment is the first moment of your new life, of your new self, the breath is our first activation in life. So accept this moment as that, as an opportunity to consciously take your first few breaths of your new life. So I'm going to share with you the activation card that I drew. And it is retreating to recharge. Trusting the process. And Dharma. Dharma, which is teaching, learning. So the card, I'll show you the image of the card. The Shambhala initiation. And hopefully I can read this. My lighting isn't super great, but I think I can do this. Okay. So Shambhala is also known as Shangri-La, which is a city of light said to be hidden somewhere in the Himalayas near Tibet. So according to the readings, it's a retreat where we can come to get in contact. It's a place where you can come to get into greater spiritual contact. A place to retreat to. It's a place where we can contact with enlightened teachers, divine masters, those that walk the earth. So I'm just kind of reading through to get to the main point of the message, so thanks for bearing with me. Most of my videos are pre-made, edited videos, so I'm doing this live and on the spot. Non-edited, unedited, just raw, flying off the cuff. So All right, so back to the message. So we can visit the etheric retreat of Shambhala during a dream state, during astral travel, or during meditation. So if you feel Shambhala calling to you, or the energies of this gateway seem familiar, you may have been there before. The Golden Temple of Shambhala is in the heart of the Himalayas between the physical and non-physical, and is said to appear it's said to appear to seekers who are ready to expand their awareness. It's the sacred energetic temple of all enlightened masters, particularly the ones who are connected to the Eastern traditions. They form a great galactic and universal council of elders who support the turning of the wheel of Dharma. Dharma is a word that relates to the unfolding of our life path. Okay, so when things quiet down in your life, know that this isn't a failure, but an opportunity to retreat and recharge. In the busyness of the physical world, our spirit is often playing catch up with our body to the point that it gets used to being overreactive and overworked. When the great masters of Shambhala connect to you, they are encouraging you to take the time away from the outer world and dive into the inner worlds. If you've been moving at full speed ahead, then the gateway encourages you to slow down and retreat. Take time to gather your energy. Spend time in meditation and reflection in order to gain a clear awareness of your current situation. You will uncover many insights and gifts during this period. Realize that there is a master awakening within you. So here's the thing. Like I said, building a bridge requires some form of a plan. And sometimes, in order to understand that plan, requires retreating to gain insight, for some energy within us to reconcile, organize, gather in a way that allows the next step to unfold. And sometimes in that retreat, it's going to be different for everybody. It could be a doing of nothing, or it could be taking some action. So when I'm looking at this reading, the first two cards that I drew, one was composure, to maintain composure, to not allow the energy to fray and to spin off in directions, or to allow ourselves to be, I want to reframe that. So I was going to say to allow ourselves to be triggered. We may feel triggered, but how we react to that trigger is the important part. So it's to gather our energy, to retreat, and to pause for a moment, to allow the energies to gather and to allow some awareness to come forward. The second card was giving birth. So it's, what are we birthing? What are we creating? What new energy are we giving life to? The next one is movement. So movement, like the breath, once we come into life, we pause, retreat, breathe, become present, focus on self-care, and in that space of retreat, allow the energies to recharge and allow that inner master to begin to surface. That begins to help guide us to the best, most structurally integrous bridge we can create to wherever we're headed. Some journeys are journeys that we plan and have a known destination. Other journeys are not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about the process. And it may require taking off on a journey without a plan, without a destination in mind. This is a different kind of journey. And this is causing me in this moment to think and process a lot of what I have been doing and what I have created. The whole premise of what I've been working on has been retreat. It has been living life in a state of retreat. Not necessarily the type of retreat that is fully full retreat from the world. It's being in the world, but not of the world, or overly consumed by the world or consuming the world. More or less, it's been learning to balance action and pause, and learning how to have action that is from a calm, intentional way. And I'm talking slow because I can start talking very fast and fly off in a lot of directions. And I'm choosing to practice being slow and intentional in my speech here. So the main point of this message and this reading and the activation that is being created here with this map is that there is a new creation, a new life, new energy that is gathering, that is coalescing. And to remember that the breath is the first activation. When we were born into our life, it's not likely, there is probably some people that would have a different statement than what I'm about to say, but most of us were not conscious of our first breath. We were birthed, we took an inhale, and we were not conscious, and we breathed in all of the life circumstances, the energy that was around us. We took it all in, and then we went forward in our life, living it, being a person experiencing it, reacting, responding, until a moment where we stop and we start to ask questions. We start to look at, how did we get to this point? Why are we experiencing this? What are we doing? What am I doing exactly? We start to become conscious and we slow down, and there's that point of retreat, that point of stopping, where we start to have a choice at that moment. And this is one of those moments where, if you're watching this and you're here in this moment with me, then you're being given an opportunity to stop and pause and take a conscious next breath. As opposed to the first breath you took of life, you now get to choose to take a conscious breath, to retreat and pause, to focus on self-care, and to allow the wisdom to unfold that guides the path forward, to step into a path of self-mastery, of self-discovery in a conscious, intentional way. And conscious intentionality, in my opinion, is different than controlling. We can control what we're doing and not be listening and be headed in a different trajectory. Or we can in that moment of pause and retreat, breathe, listen, observe, be aware, ask questions, learn, open to learn, be willing to learn, and then start to take action that flows, that is possibly just a little bit effortless. It still might have challenge. Some of the actions that I've taken, the decisions that I've made to, complete and work on projects, they flowed with ease, but they were not easy. They took a lot of perseverance and commitment and dedication to see through to completion. One of those projects that I'll talk about is the medicine spiral journey. The project has continued to amaze me. I didn't understand when I created it exactly what I was building. However, it has continued to grow and expand and have a pulse of its own. And the creation of it felt like I was climbing up Mount Everest with the baggage of my life on it. Yet I continued, and the more I went, bags were set down, bags were released, and eventually the project from the building side was done, and then it was offered to a group of people. And in my mind, I thought, okay, this program is going to last from November to January for that group of people. And it ended up taking that group of people from November until mid-August of this last year to complete. So it was the whole process of my own journey with it, then the building of it, and then holding the space for a group of people to go through it. That took almost a year of time to see through. So that's an example of the perseverance and dedication that can happen, yet it flowed with ease. It made sense. Even in the moment, at times it didn't make sense. But I knew that it was the right action. There was a lot of retreating and pausing and creating space to allow the energy to organize in order to take the next step. Sometimes it meant gathering more tools, more skills, seeking support, doing my own work before I could move forward to the next phase of the bridge. So the cosmic map, which is what I said, this is a cosmic map, right? And this is a map, and in the map there's a bridge. We've come to a ravine, and to get over the ravine requires some type of bridge to get there. And if you're finding that you have been, or this is resonating and you're at that juncture, in that process of your life where you can kind of see where you're going, you know where you've been, and you're at a ravine and you're not exactly sure how you're going to get to the other side, you know a bridge needs to be built, you know you have skills, you know it's all there, maybe it feels like a huge process or a huge undertaking, perhaps it's been triggering procrastination and you're not sure. The message is simply, as I've said, movement is important, whatever that looks like. It can be movement that we know exactly why we're taking the action, or it can be movement that we might not understand why we're taking it, but we know that we just need to take some simple step to at least move us in the direction to where we're headed. We have to face our true north. We have to face the direction of our alignment. We have to stand in integrity, continue to gather the skills, focus on our breath, slow down, yet keep moving with our self-care as a priority, and allow the wisdom to unfold that guides us along this process of whatever we're building. So, as we are now in the new year, 2024, welcome to 2024, this is the message. It's exactly what I've been talking about. To see that this year is on one part, closing down and completing whatever previous old projects need to be completed. I would say make a list of what those are and create a plan to start to complete those. Just like the videos that I've been putting on YouTube over the last 70 videos that I've posted on my YouTube channel have all been videos that were part of me closing down the old process. I came to the point of completion by completing all those. I'm at an empty state, an empty slate, and I'm ready to begin working on the next project. So I'm in that juncture in between, building the bridge. So the one part is completing those projects. Either completing them, or if they're not for you and they were ideas that came up that you realize, you know, I just need to be done with this. Delete the data, donate the material, whatever it is, be done with it. Bring it to completion. Simultaneously, start to look at what you are giving what new life you're creating. So you're preparing yourself to be able to dedicate your energy, to dedicate your focus to whatever you're creating and building. And if you've completed all of those projects and you're at the point of being ready to dedicate yourself in some way to some process, a healing, a direction in life, a life change, or some area of your life, then this is the point to recharge or to retreat, let your energy recharge, let the energy organize and gather, focusing on the breath that allows you to begin to move forward in this new year on that new project. So as a final message, I will let you know that if there is a project you're working on, there's goals or ideas that you're wanting to create, whether they be the closing down of old projects or the creation of new projects, then seek me out. I am a life coach and I help people with their goals and I help them organize projects and I help be an accountability partner to help people move into completion, to see things through, to make changes in their lives in a variety of different areas of life. And if you are on a spiritual journey or a path of self-discovery or wanting to move deeper into your self-mastery process, then consider my medicine spiral journey. It is a 10-week process that will give you movement practices and meditations and different activities that will help you learn a lot about yourself and will give you an opportunity to retreat and recharge. And integrate. It's an integration, self-discovery, virtual personal retreat. It can be done on your own or it can be done with the virtual part and coaching. So welcome to 2024. May this year be one that is full of goodness and joy and completion for you. This year, from my understanding, is a huge change. I'm not an astrologer, but in listening to the astrology for this year, I'm understanding that there are some big changes and transits happening this year. And we are closing down an era. From my understanding, there has been one process since 2008 that is coming to completion in 2024. So if you're wanting to move with the as above, so below energies, then this is a good year to start to look at your life from 2008 and what you've been learning, growing, struggling, overcoming, and doing from that period from 2008 to towards the end of 2024. You can start to move that whole process into a state of completion and start to look at where you're going to take the next phase of your life. Because towards the end of 2024, we move into the new energy, the new frequency, and that will be that next phase that then lasts for, I think, 20 years at that point. So it's a huge process, and it's worth putting some conscious intentionality into. And not control, because there's so much changing. It's going to be challenging to know exactly what it is and how it will be. However, by standing in integrity and facing true north in alignment, you can follow the flow that is the path of least resistance. Thank you so much for joining and watching, and for celebrating the completion of 2023 and being present with me in the bridge as we crossed over from 2023 to 2024. This is the Cosmic Bridge, and if you walked over this bridge with me and you're here listening to this in this moment, then please like this video, share it, and comment, subscribe to my channel, all of the good things, and continue to watch and join as 2024 flows. I intend to continue to share content and put messages of inspiration and meditation and movement practices, as well as the different, creative videos and activations that I put forward on my channel. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. May this new year be full of goodness, joy, abundance. May you walk in reverence, in gratitude, and always be in a place of peace. Thank you. Infinite blessings. Take good care of yourself. Bye for now.